Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to day 2 of MLG Winter Championship. We've got our next match up and gearing up to get started here on stage. I'm DJ Wheat.
And I'm Day 9, and it's a match that I think is going to be an interesting one, both because of the gameplay of SaSe, absolutely nuts in Protoss vs. Zerg, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in the match, but also because CrazyMoving is his opponent on a team that many may not know of. The team Infinity 7, started by the amazingly talented photographer Z-Motion, who I don't know if any of you have ever seen her stuff, but go to Twitter. She rules, Z-E Motion. And I mean, Infinity 7 has a great lineup. They've been performing decently in the open bracket, but due to, you know, the inability to broadcast all the matches, they really have been a little bit under the radar for the last few months.
You know, I'd also say a lot of us do know the history of SaSe coming from Warcraft 3 and really finding, you know, finding a home in StarCraft 2. CrazyMoving story is pretty, you know, similar to this. However, he, of course, was a competitor in Brood War. He did at one place place second in a Courage competition.
Which is so hard.
Yeah, very, very difficult. And he did attempt tryouts, I believe, at SK Telecom T1, KT, and NBC Game Hero, but because of school and work, he was just unable to truly fulfill the duties. So when StarCraft 2 rolled around, he was offered a spot on MVP, practiced with them even for a month. Then he had some family things he had to pull out. And then as I7 came around, he started to find more interest, more time. And he's had some success since then. We've seen him in Code A, did at one point take out Min from Slayers, ultimately ended up losing into 2-1 game to Hero to fall in Code A.
And now CrazyMoving in this very tournament has had a pretty decent run, taking down Shu, Vile Illusion 2-1, and then Select 2-0 to get here to this final, or to these pool play, where he will be up against SaSe, a very unusual player, perhaps the softest player of the stunning lineup that we have in that group. And I wanted to give one more big shocker result from the open bracket before we hop into this game. Between Ostoji and EG's Puma, Ostoji wins 2-1.
Wow.
I mean, I think a lot of people are going to be excited about that because Ostoji is notorious for focusing a lot on the North American ladder, regularly the #1 Grandmaster, an absolute machine, and has a great attitude, performed well at the US Battle.net Invitational Tournament, and now here has made it to pools.
Yeah, I mean, his results at these competitions have been getting better and better. We've seen him go up and increasing, and the player from QxGSaSe, you know, took out some really good players along the way in ZVZ and ZVT, you know. It's a matchup that Puma's got a lot of practice in, so surprising, yeah.
Well, it looks like both the players are in the game. Ladies and gents, are you ready to re-begin the pool play action on MLG Day 2? Get ready for your signs. Oh, yes, bless you. That's right, Day 9 from Canada, apparently. No, that's a Huck sign. Yes!
And the guy you stood up in Providence.
Who stood me up in Providence. I wasn't even at Providence, and it was purely despite that one guy.
Yeah, well, he's feeling it now, man. All right, QxGSaSe. Actually, let's introduce our players first in the southwest position on Daybreak as the Red Protoss. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for QxGSaSe.
And in the top right, a new face who I'm certain you're going to be seeing a lot of in 2012. From Infinity 7 and Korea, it's CrazyMoving.
Let's talk a little bit about SaSe. He's a player that, you know, I haven't really talked much about this, but he has that unorthodox style of play. He seems to be kind of like Kiwikaki in the early days in terms of the way that he is thinking about the game, and maybe this is outside of the box of what some other Protosses are thinking about, saying, you know what, I'm going to try something a little bit different on my build order. I'm going to be a little bit unorthodox, but I also feel like he's had a little bit more success in it as well. So that's kind of the big difference between them. He's obviously got a phenomenal RTS mind, and it's really evident when we see him play. Now,
it's so amazing.
Yeah, I was going to talk a little bit about the games that we've seen him recently in versus Zerg, and that was, of course, versus Red, where he had some really, really interesting 2 gate openings in a fast expand situation, and then tried for heavy zealot pressure, which did not work at all.
I mean, but the thing is, it was on razor's edge of being about to work in game one.
Yes.
It panned out fantastically. Daybreak is a great map to be doing it on, and it looks like SaSe is going to be planning down that Nexus. Boom, it goes down. I mean, you think about the standard timings in this matchup, it all revolves around a Protoss player who wants to get a fast cybernetics core. How can you put pressure on if you delay it by getting 2 gates? Well, SaSe simply gets a third base up, intending to play defensively. He gets his third started at 8 minutes, when ordinarily the fastest third you'd ever see is at 10. I mean, stunningly unique play.
Yeah, and this is surprising to see him go for that kind of thing, especially when Protoss seem to be so scared just to get their third base up. They feel like they have to be in that comfortable timing. And we have a misplaced pylon there that will get a cancellation, so 25 minerals down the drain, but no big loss. As Forge now finishing up, Gateway is about halfway done, and the Lings are out, so the probe, look at that little juke down to the third as the other Zerglings make their way out across the map.
Now, CrazyMoving getting ready to take his third base as expected. Now, what we're going to see out of SaSe is he should be planting down another gateway at the front of his base. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he went for the cybernetics core, but still want to have everyone prepared for that gate play. And I'm almost disappointed that it's not a gateway, Marcus. But SaSe has said stylistically he hates going air. Very unlikely to see him do something like some kind of fast Stargate. However, what SaSe is known for is his Warp Prism play, doing the Immortal drops.
Yes.
I literally cannot wait for mid-game.
Yes, I agree, and Probe is going to be taken out. And you know, it's kind of funny that you mentioned about the whole concept of doesn't like to play Stargate, because in the times that I have seen him play it, I've been like, wow, he's got such good control that he, you know, he does an exceptional job with it, but it's just not a style that he particularly likes to play. And, you know, that's just the way that some players are.
Yeah, but it was so funny. I mean, at the last week at that beverage training land, to see SaSe say, I don't like doing that style, and then to execute it fantastically.
Yeah.
Not just decently, but fantastically. He's the sort of player who can line his build orders up so nicely on a whim. But he always sticks with build orders that he has practiced through and through. Already look at this nice positioning by SaSe at the front, where he has the pylon and the photon cannon forming a secondary wall with the Nexus and the gateway. It means the Zerglings will have to go all the way around if he blocks that one little hole between the pylon and Nexus. This gives the opportunity for SaSe to very, very easily deal with any sort of aggressive Zerg play.
Yeah, and additionally, like we've seen, there's some videos out there of SaSe holding off some ridiculous Zerg all-in attacks.
Saw that on Reddit.
Ridiculous. And there's been a couple of them in the past month, so this is something that he has formed out of games and games of experience. And, you know, I expect this style to really start to, you know, pick up a little bit more. Yeah, it makes the mobility in and out of the natural a little rough, but as Zergs get more aggressive, it certainly turns into a very, very nice defensive maneuver.
Now, Marcus, we've been talking a lot about SaSe this game and his crazy styles. As we head on over to CrazyMoving's base, we see that he is still droning up and has pretty boldly not planted down a Roach Warren. There's the speed upgrade coming from the spawning pool, the Evo chamber, but not a Roach Warren in sight. Ordinarily, 7 minutes is about as late as most players will risk building that, but either he knows his opponents well or knows his timing really well, because without roaches, were SaSe to do a big aggressive warp gate push, it would be a nightmare to defend.
Now, they sees these Lings, or sees these sentries coming out with the Lings. I wonder if we'll see a reaction for that right now. I mean, these sentries moving out, look at that. We don't see that very often. As 3 sentries and a probe going to chase out these Zerglings. Now, the probe's really the most, and he's going to lose it. I don't think he really intended that to happen, but we've got the sentries moving out to the southeast side of the map, going to be joined by 3 more sentries, which
There's
is just
the
a link
third.
to light. Oh,
the
wow.
8-minute third? So fast. I mean, this is absolutely bonkerville, but it looks like, CrazyMoving kills off another probe, his third this game, and then meets up with that Nexus. He sees it. He now knows what his next target's going to be, but SaSe is not done yet. He's moving down to the bottom right, and where is that Warp Prism, Marcus?
Yeah. Where is it?
Oh, it's mid-map, moving towards the top right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, was it spotted by those Lings? Not sure. And look at the micro there with the just doing the dance with one of those sentries to be able to easily take them out. Warp Prism heading right in.
CrazyMoving, phenomenal reaction
gosh.
time. Oh, no, oh, no, oh, no. SaSe, not in time.
Oh, wow. Wow, that
The
is like
reaction
complete
time.
stuff.
That looked like a kindergartner trying to shoot a shot over Shaquille O'Neal.
Yes.
When he's relentless.
Yeah, wow, and here come the Ling attack, knowing that that third's going to be pretty vulnerable. The gateways are going down for SaSe. Still a pretty giant hole here, and there's not a whole lot of units to defend. One pylon, two pylon.
Blocking with seconds to spare, and now SaSe can get all those sentries into position. Will he be able to force field away? Amazing timing by SaSe.
Yeah, he'll get the cannons down now, and that
but the main, the Zerglings moving into the main, and they slipped right through. He wasn't able to block that in time, and now the main base under a little bit of pressure, and there's the target fire. CrazyMoving brilliantly, taking out the blink.
Yeah, and you know, I think he's going to get this, even on a warp in. A cancellation of the blink. It's going to go down here. The Zealot Suma, is he going to save it?
Oh, I bet she didn't cancel that blink.
Oh, yeah.
Says Sean, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 sentries get picked off at the front. Look at CrazyMoving with his amazing Zergling control. He is going, look at the front. Look at that force field. That is how you block Lings from running into your main.
And from the back, he's going to be able to take all those Lings out, and a good defense despite the fact that he almost lost that Twilight Council. Of course, the biggest loss of this game, I think that Warp Prism that CrazyMoving just completely shut down. He's now getting himself a macro hatch inside the main. You see a Dark Shrine going down.
Well, QxGSaSe using the force fields to make his units hug and play T before they wear off 15 seconds later. But I mean, we saw Idra go for a very delayed Mutalisk harass against JYP just last game. CrazyMoving now going all out with that mutiling pressure. We've talked so much about the vulnerability of roaches in the mid game, how players are steering farther and farther away. And it now looks like CrazyMoving going literally roachless, straight to mutiling.
This is what I feel like I was expecting to see in that Idra matchup right here. Controlling with these Lings or the roaches. In this case, he can kind of attack into that third. Of course, there's a lot of cannons there, but you just want to try to pull those units maybe up into the main.
Look at the top DTs sneaking their way in.
How's the detection looking like over here? I don't see any. I do see one Spore at the front.
God, CrazyMoving on point.
Yeah, he's ready for this. And the Muta's making their way out to the middle of the map. Now, is he going to split this up, or is he going to use this as one combined force? Here he moves in right now. There's not a whole lot of Stalkers. He's going to go right over the top of this.
Gets the complete surround, doing incredible damage, but keep in mind that blink is now done. Looks like the engagement's still going on. Meanwhile, in the main, it looks like those DTs are making their way up to the natural. Will they be just walking right in? No, they just target fire the Spore. CrazyMoving needs to transfuse to keep it alive. He elects not to, and now it looks like DTs are ready to bring down a world of hurt. And in the bottom, we see a Warp Prism as well.
Yeah, it has not. There we go. It warps in a DT. DT still in the main, doing a lot of damage. There we see an Overseer being morphed up right now, and still a lot of damage being done by these DTs in both the natural and inside the main. Here he finally brings the Overseer over to do some work, but inside the fourth as well, drones falling left and right. And this just seems to be really that mid-game advantage that Protoss can get if you're not ready for it. I like the use of DTs in this regard, because I feel like Zerg should already be expecting something like that and have their vision ready.
God, SaSe knows how to defend and is bold with it. He has only 14 Stalkers, and yet is taking a fourth base in front and center of the map, moving down to that bottom right side. And this is something that is just so different than what we see the usual Protoss player do, massing up a huge army, getting ready for a big engagement. SaSe spreading out over the map, hitting in multiple locations at once, but CrazyMoving is now poised to take out that fourth base with a great decisive attack.
Oh yeah, and here we got SaSe attacking the fourth at the bottom. Over here, the fourth is going to be canceled here by SaSe, but what is he going to do at this point? Is CrazyMoving going to move into the natural and attack? It looks like the answer is yes.
CrazyMoving.
Wow.
The third under a little bit of pressure, but CrazyMoving with incredible focus repositions his Lings properly. SaSe also in a brilliant maneuver, now going for the third base, and it looks like we are going to go into an insta-base trade, but it looks like that Templar Archive just fell down. At the third base of SaSe, the Lings are ripping absolutely everything apart. At the south side, we see more Stalkers morphing in, moving up to that second base of CrazyMoving. Now it looks like it is going to be a strict base trade situation. SaSe knows his big ticket to win is to try to get as many Stalkers up as he can. He needs to take out the core.
Yeah, he really needs to take out the core, because if he can keep on making Stalkers, that's the one thing that's going to do just fine versus these Mutas. The link count is much lower than he would like right now. Well, I guess 67 is quite a bit. They're just spread out all over the place. And SaSe now, what is he going to do?
Looks like he is just wrapping all around the map, clearing it out. Is there any probe alive? No probes on the map. No probes on the map. He loses the Nexus. There's no probes left.
Oh,
CrazyMoving with an incredible base trade. Great army management. Successfully knocks down all the probes. He is going to be revealed. CrazyMoving's ticket now is going to be spine, spine, spine.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what he's going to need to do. And there we go. SaSe's not rebuilt the space. Here we have all these units coming in. The blink backwards. But there are so many Mutas here. And will the Mutas go ahead and engage? They are. I think that they win this battle straight up at GG.
Good game.
Wow.
CrazyMoving putting on a Muta Link clinic. I mean, that is insane. I mean, the APM of CrazyMoving at the end of that game, 480. Incredible finger speed. Wow.
He played that quite well. I mean, just to see just the straight up Muta and the Lings together, but really, in my opinion, the most important decision that he made there was when he did go into attack the natural. He could have easily sent his Lings into the main and gotten rid of everything, but instead he just split it off and ran it into the third, which was totally undefended. A couple of cannons there. He completely wiped that out. You know, when you said no probes, I was actually surprised. I'm like, well, what about the third? Oh, yeah, that's right. He completely demolished it. He ate it apart. So it was really, really fantastic play. So.
Guys, we're going to be going to a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We've seen insane play from both of these players in Game 1. We expect the same in Game number 2. I'm Day9.
And I'm DJ. When we return, more MLG Winter Championship coming at you.